Hey everyone, and welcome to my top 5 games of 2016. First off, we're starting with Pokemon Moon at number 5. It was released on November 18th of 2016 and it was developed by Game Freak. Pokemon Moon comes into 5th because I've been playing the Pokemon games ever since Red came out. I played Gold next as well, but then I didn't really play any of the other games because I just never had the console or the handhelds that they came out on. My love for the Pokemon games was revitalized when Game Freak re-released Gold as Heart Gold. After that, I have owned one of every series of the Pokemon games that they've released each year. When I heard of Moon being released as the 20th anniversary edition of the game, I had high hopes that it would be the one that included all of the regions and the Pokemon to date. Sadly, that was not the direction they went with, even though that would, can you imagine? All of the games in one game? That would have been amazing. But they did come out with regional variations of some of the original Pokemon. And that being said, I haven't actually finished the game yet, but I look forward to completing it, and that's what cements it as my top 5 pick of the year. And next, in the number 4 position, comes World of Warcraft Legion. It was released on August 30th of 2016 by Blizzard. When Blizzard first announced Legion, I was not that excited for it. It actually just looked like it was going to be a rehash of Burning Crusade, which held little interest for me story-wise. On the road to Legion, however, I was getting more and more hyped for it, and then with the Demon Invasion pre-event, I was fully hyped. When the game released, I streamed my rogue leveling through the first zone, and then work got in the way, but with the companion app, I was actually able to finally level to max. The story was great, and with the ability to level in almost any of the zones, it allowed you to play where you wanted to, or go where your friends were regardless of their level. I did not play any of the dungeons, however, until I was max level, but once I did, I enjoyed them thoroughly. They offered enough scenery that was different and different sorts of encounters, and it made it quite enjoyable. And then when I finally joined Mythic Dungeons with my friend Bonesy, it just showed and cemented that there was just massive amounts of replay value because, well, with the different difficulties and the different affixes that each difficulty is provided, you could basically just go through it like as if it were Diablo, with every run being just different from the one previous to it. Having played WoW since 2008, I can say this is probably my second favorite expansion after Mists of Pandaria. Coming in third place would be Overwatch, which was released on May 23rd of 2016, developed also by Blizzard. After having played during beta, I was really hyped about the game, and with the promise of ranked play, I was sure that I would enjoy it. It came out to great success, and it was more fun than it had been in beta. I latched onto the characters Junkrat and Roadhog quite early on. Playing mostly DPS or Roadhog, I slowly began to branch out, until I mastered most of the heroes, aside from Zarya and Symmetra. However, with Symmetra's recent changes, I feel that I'm more accepting, of her playstyle. I tend to play the game a bunch and then take breaks quite often, but I always come back, especially when holiday events come out or when the loot boxes for arcade are available. In this last competitive season, I finally ranked up to Platinum, which is pretty cool, and then I'm still working on my first gold weapon. I think I might be either giving it to Junkrat or Roadhog, but yeah, that's pretty much why my third pick is Overwatch. Coming in second place is Xcom 2, which was released on February 5th of 2016, and developed by Firaxis. It actually took me quite a while to beat it, because when I first played it, I had to move twice, so then I put the game down and I didn't really ever pick it up. Although recently, starting in December, I picked the game back up, but first I went through and I was looking through the Steam Workshop at mods, and I found a bunch of mods that interested me. One that made the game easier by giving you a bunch of resources and making research and stuff take less time, but also visual mods like Star Wars helmets, where it added stormtrooper helmets, Imperial pilots, and stuff like that, which is really cool because I've always really loved Star Wars, and then being able to take it and then put it into this game about squad-based tactics was actually pretty cool, especially since the customization for soldiers and stuff allows you to make people and then you keep them and they're persistent and you can use them in multiple playthroughs. Playing the games with mods was fun, even if the difficulty wasn't there due to some of them. Watching my troops level up from rookie all the way to colonel from mission to mission was awesome. And even though like on the last mission when I did it, everyone died except for the VIP, which was disappointing because they had just gone through and been through every mission together since day one, and then just on the last mission everyone died aside from the commander, which was like, what the fuck, man, like you guys couldn't do it just one more time. But it was fun. I actually ended up going through the next day and playing it and trying to see if I could do it without anybody dying, and I actually lost 2 troops regardless. But it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it quite thoroughly. The game was very extensive in what they had came out with, and that is what cemented XCOM 2 at the 2nd place spot for this year. So now for my only honorable mention of 2016, it has to go to Pokemon Go. It was released on July 6, 2016 in the US, and it was developed by Niantic. Although this one does not make it into my top 5, it is definitely a contender. When I first heard about it, I could not help but be excited. The ability to catch Pokemon out in the real world. I mean, I used to play this game with my brothers, without cell phones. We would just walk around and just pretend we saw Pokemon and catch them. It's really quite silly, but whatever. And now I would just be able to. My friends and I started going on walks to try to catch all the Pokemon we could find. We went to the farmer's market in the next town so that we could catch Pokemon when everybody was around and people were popping lures on the Pokestops, and then just being able to say, oh look, over there we found a Pikachu if you're looking for it, or, you know, have them tell us where cool Pokemon were. It was really cool seeing so many people come together around a phone game. A group of friends and I went to the beach 4 weeks in a row just trying to catch different Pokemon that were nowhere near our region. Sadly, this was when the servers were just starting out, so they weren't stable at all, and unfortunately I saw an Electabuzz, well actually multiple Electabuzz, but I was unable to catch any of them due to the fact that I kept disconnecting, or they kept running away or disappearing. So even to this day, I still have not caught an Electabuzz. It's actually the only Pokemon that I've seen that I have not caught. But, you know, as with Pokemon, one day my Pokedex will be complete. I ended up taking a break from the game for quite a while because it just couldn't hold my interest with the instability and everything else that was becoming an issue, with the way they changed radar to where you couldn't use the maps or even try with the foot system to discover where it was. So I just couldn't play it. And then they made it even more difficult to catch even common Pokemon. However, despite that, due to a recent trip to visit my brother for the holidays, I started playing the game because he was. But who knows, maybe when they finally add trading or even the new generation of Pokemon, it might just come back into my life. So that brings us to my number 1 game of 2016, which isn't even a game from 2016, but it's the first time I ever played it. Even though this game came out last year and I have only had 3 days of playing with it, I have named it my number 1 game of the year. It happened that I went down to my brother's for New Year's Eve, and we spent most of the time playing Mario Maker. Mario games have always held a special place in my heart because it was one of the first games I ever played. The first console we ever received was from my Aunt Cindy, and it was a Nintendo Entertainment System with multiple games, but the only ones we really latched onto were the Super Mario games. And I spent many hours with my brothers playing the games, making our way through each world, trying to save Princess Peach. And mind you, this was all before save games, so you could only really do it in one sitting, which might be the entire day. Or you, I guess, could leave the console off, but then you risk the consequence of blowing out your transformer for the console. With Mario Maker, however, you're able to play through multitudes of user-created levels, some of which are just automatic machines that play out magically, as long as you don't touch a controller, before you. The amount of work that must have gone into some of these levels is unimaginable with the level of impatience that I have. I mean, some levels you just go, and if you move, that's how you die. Some of the time I spent with my brother in this game was each of us making levels and giving the controller to the other to see if they could beat it. There was copious amounts of laughter as I watched my brother craft an underwater level that for a while even he himself could not complete. One of the best parts of the games was having finished building one of my own levels and having my brother and his husband's brother play through it and seeing the 3 different ways that they finished the level. It really gives you a sense for how level designers must feel when they give the level over to playtesters and then they see all the different ways that they never thought of someone playing their level. Like, oh, you didn't even go down that warp pipe, or oh, you skipped that jump altogether just by brute forcing it. I did not expect this. And you'd be surprised at how invested you are into these levels until you upload them online and see that there's a notification that someone played your level, hoping that they maybe just left a heart, or even better, they just finished the level rather than just quitting out of it. I am sad to say, however, that by the time that I had left, my brother and I had uploaded 5 levels. I think he did 3 and I did 2, and his was the only one to have received a star. Well, that's my top 5 games of the year with 1 honorable mention. 5th place was Pokemon Moon. 4th place was World of Warcraft Legion, 3rd place was Overwatch, 2nd place Xcom 2, and number 1, Mario Maker. A revolver, that way you're not saying shoot twice.
Shoot in a 6 shoot?
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Shoot the shoot.
Sounds embarrassing.
Shoot shot shoot. Shoot shot shit.
It shows that you have an insignificant vernacular.
We already knew that though.
Yeah, but I'm trying to help. Just like your friend is helping you get buff, I'm helping you get brain buff.
I'll never be brain buff.
Brain buff.
hence the brain buff part.
It was fun to say.
Most people would say, you know, smarter. I like brain
I
buff.
had to put it in meathead terms.
Go fuck yourself. I ain't a meathead.
I mean, I don't know this.